This is the most familiar Sussex of all, Sussex by the sea. The holiday Sussex of Whelk Stall and Pier, Deck Chair and Brighton Rock. Sea bathing in Sussex first established the popularity of this coast. In the 18th century, it was suddenly discovered to have health-giving properties, and the gay world of late Georgian London was soon flocking to be dipped in the curative waters. Prince Regent himself came with his fascinating Mrs. Fitzherbert, and he was soon transforming a modest villa into an extravagant pavilion, mixing Indian and Chinese styles in colourful fantasy. In all this tinkling splendour, he entertained his fashionable friends. A contemporary ballad told how "'tis at Brighton, that mirror of watering places, assemble their honours, their lordships, their graces. Nay, England's first prince and the famous Dame Fitz meet old friends and new friends, and beauties meet wits." But these glittering episodes were but a bright flicker on the flint and chalk-coloured story of Sussex. Often a troubled history of rebellion, religious intolerance, and civil strife. These 17th century houses in Rye saw the bitter hatred of war, Roundhead against Cavalier. East Sussex declared for Cromwell and Parliament, whereas Chichester and the western parts of the county held for King Charles. The cathedral city was besieged successfully by Cromwell's army, who damaged monuments and cast down statues in their anti-papist zeal. But despite civil strife and hostile theologies, religious faith survived, and the county became known as Holy Sussex. It boasts almost 300 churches and has produced 5 archbishops of Canterbury. Even William of Normandy built an abbey after his conquest in 1066. On a little hill with one hoar apple tree, he gave thanks for his great victory and remembered the dead who fell on the nameless field, called, quite simply, battle. Before the Normans, the Saxons. Many Sussex churches contain Saxon work. We can trace it after many centuries in the little church at Worth, at Botolph's, near Stenning, and more remarkably, at Sumpting, with its Saxon tower, like a church in the Rhine Valley. And before the Saxons, the Romans. Here at Pevensey, their defences remain, built against the sea-roving invaders. The Romans. No part of our island story is complete without them. Their straight military roads march boldly over the wide, wandering spaces of the Downs. And before the Romans, Sussex history retreats into a mysterious unknown. The Long Man of Wilmington seems to tell of a looming Wagnerian past, Wotan and northern gods brooding on the elemental Downs. And Chanctonbury Ring speaks to us of Stone Age man, his fire and knapped flint, all that distinguished him from the savage animals that roamed the wild uplands and the deep forest of the weald. But in the Doomsday Fields, The past lies light upon the shoulder. Sussex, isolated and aloof for so long from the rest of England, has come to terms with the modern age. Mechanised as many of them may be, Sussex is still a county of country pursuits. The fine, sweet turf of Sussex was made by nature to be the home of sheep, champion sheep that yield sweet Southdown mutton. Champion sheep that compete with other champions at the annual Petworth Show, where they get a very special grooming, along with all the other champions. Here, in a holiday atmosphere, the country and the town get together. Farmer and statesman meet over a pot, the champion Sussex trophy, happy if it is to stay within the county. And the All England jumping at Hickstead belies its name by being truly international and setting international standards. In her long history, Sussex has come to represent many aspects of English life. There is pride still in a smart turnout like this, where nowadays the journey, not the destination, is its own reward and pleasure. But there are faster ways of bringing the Londoner to the pleasures of the Sussex season. Pleasures like the race meeting at Goodwood. Specialists, far more exciting and hardly less popular, the polo at Cowdray Park. White flannels on a green turf, an English sight by no means exclusive to Sussex. But Cricket is played here with such a death or glory gusto that many of our greatest players think of Sussex as the very nursery of the game.
Right. Hold it!
Many poets have written of Sussex. Robert Bridges, Lawrence Binyon, Rudyard Kipling among them. Most of all, perhaps, Hilaire Belloc. I will gather and carefully make my friends of the men of the Sussex weald. They watch the stars from silent folds, they stiffly plough the field. By them and the God of the South Country, my poor soul shall be healed. Mozart, on a summer evening drifting out over a rose garden. This is the long interval at Glyndebourne, that most English of contradictions, an international opera house, founded by John Christie and built into his own country home. And at Chichester, in this startling modern festival theatre that rises in the quiet fields, another dream was more recently born. It was here that Laurence Olivier began to plan the long-promised National Theatre. The great houses of the county have sterner roots in the past than their serene old age may suggest. Elizabethan gables, great Tudor timbers, or medieval stonework may often be encased within elegant Georgian facades. Lewes Castle, built soon after the Norman conquest, has echoed to many a troubled tread in the footsteps of Sussex history, of murder and martyrdom. But no travel film must end on old, unhappy, far-off things. So let Hilaire Belloc have the last word on Sussex. For him, the centre of all good things, home of happy men. If I ever become a rich man, or ever I grow to be old, I will build a house with deep thatch to shelter me from the cold. And there shall the Sussex songs be sung, and the story of Sussex told. I will hold my house in the high woods, within a walk of the sea, and the men that were boys when I was a boy shall sit and drink with me.